The goddess is here, and she is asked to join the Avengers. Roll that intro, cuz. What's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy Earth Mac, the mad scientist, and this is the Orange Phoenix Show, Comic Book Declassified, where we talk about the recent issues that's been released in comic book world, as well as past issues and stories that you may not know about, and also some character bios as well. But today, we are covering Avengers number 17, featuring Storm. And before we get into that, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you get notified on all of our videos that gets released. Also, join our Discord server. That is free 99. They got several channels for several interests in geekdom, whether it's comics, whether it's anime, whether it's video games, whether it's pro wrestling, with a collector's channel as well. So if you want to show off your collection, we have a channel for that as well. Also, we have a Patreon. So if you want to support our online digital magazine, go ahead and subscribe to our Patreon. Now, with our $5 tier, you are guaranteed the most recent issue of Orange Phoenix magazine, which comes out bi-monthly, and you have access to these videos before it airs out on YouTube. Now, on the $15 tier, you have access to all the things that I mentioned, plus recent and past issues of Orange Phoenix magazine, plus videos that we will never air on YouTube, and that is the $15 tier. Now that we got that out the way. Oh, I'm forgetting one more thing. Stick around to the end of the video because we will tell you the next comic we are going to cover after the Avengers. But hey, let's get into some Avengers number 17. Now, Avengers number 17 starts out basically in an argument, because this is post bloodhunt, and if you haven't read bloodhunt, go ahead and check that out on digital. And the bloodhunt storyline just recently ended, and let's just say Doctor Strange made some dumb decisions. Let's just go with that. But either way, the Avengers are reeling. Captain Marvel feels some type of way, and rightfully so, because it's unacceptable to her that yes, they won the war, but at the same time, they lost thousands of people. And, you know, Scarlet Witch and T'Challa, they're saying, listen, yes, we lost a few thousand people, but we saved billions of people. And in that regard, Captain Marvel is set off by that, because listen, this is all unacceptable. Like, we shouldn't even allow this to even transpire. Like, this is not right. She goes on to say, remember those? The cataclysms Kang warned us about. We contained the action combined with the minimal loss of life. That was the first tribulation event, the fall of the impossible city. But then the blood hunt, Kang's endless night. We owe this world a duty if we dare call ourselves Avengers. And thousands dead instead of billions is still a failure. Close enough is not enough. On top of that, Dr. Doom is the sorcerer supreme of Earth. Spider-Man, the kid one, is a vampire. And speaking of vampires, they can walk around in sunlight now. And at that point, that pisses off. Now, yes, you heard correctly. Dr. Doom is now sorcerer supreme. Hence, Doctor Strange being a dumbass. But, you know, we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on going. But now, when we go with Avengers number 17, Sam basically says she's right. She's absolutely correct on that. Two things can be right at the same time. Captain Marvel feeling the way she feels, and everybody else saying, hey, we saved billions of people. Yes, we lost thousands, but can we be happy that we actually saved the planet? So two things can be right at the same time. But you know, to save everyone, especially in this cataclysmic event of Endless Night with the vampires, that is I would say that was an impossible task, because there was a plan in motion when it came down to blood hunt. Like, the Avengers could not contend with that situation. Like, they didn't see that coming. They were blindsided. And so Captain Marvel saying, listen, we got to be prepared the next time this happens. Now, we fast forward over to the southern United States, and we see this mysterious figure hands over this USB stick over to a reporter and saying, hey, I need you to play this, you know, XYZ. you're gonna know what to do with this, and that's all you see. Now, also, Captain Marvel, has an addiction. She has a drinking problem, and of all people to be her sponsor, it is Tony Stark. I mean, if anybody understands this, Tony Stark understands this, because one of Tony Stark's, addictions was drinking, and that was a while ago. I mean, he's not like that anymore, and he sits and talks with Captain Marvel just to give her a little bit of comfort. But each Avenger is having these conversations with themselves. They're having a conversation with the Impossible City, and Vision basically says, I'm on the side of Captain Marvel. Like, I'm on the side of Carol. Like, we shouldn't allow this to happen. And in the future, we should never allow this to happen again. But in midst of that, you do see this mysterious figure on Pluto. Now, I don't know if it's the gas, but we learn later on it is Hyperion. But we're going to put a pin in that. Later on, we see Sam Wilson in Atlanta, and he visits the goddess. He visits Storm. And this conversation, is being had as they're flying in the air. And he's feeling the type of way like, hey, we should have helped you when Orchis was attacking. But, I mean, the Avengers, what were they going to do? They weren't going to make much of a difference in that war in Krakoa with the fall of X. That it wasn't going to do anything. Like, you had the most powerful beings or mutants on this planet, and they were unable to stop it. So with the Avengers, they wasn't going to make much of a dent. And Storm basically comforts him and telling him, like, listen, don't feel some type of way. Like, it's nothing you could have done. I understand how you feel, but it is what it is. And I'm okay with that. So as they're flying, he says, and did you fight back with reservation? And he says, none. Then to my mind, you, the Avengers, did everything you could. So that's basically comforting for Sam Wilson. Now, Sam is on a recruiting mission, basically. And I don't think anybody else knows about this, but he says, listen, we're the Avengers. We stand for every thinking being on this planet, not just humans, but synthetics, Atlantean, lava men, Maloids, and mutants. We failed your people. We should never have let Orchis get as strong as they did. And, Storm's like, listen, Orchis outmaneuvered my entire species, Sam. I don't know what the Avengers could have done. Like, listen, bro, I understand where you at, but y'all wasn't going to do nothing, because, like, I could end y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, that's not it. So he basically says, doesn't matter. We're the Avengers. The warnings were there, and we had reservations. Which were the conditions for failure? You just quoted me. It shouldn't have happened. And Storm says, it would not again of that. I can assure you. And he states, the Avengers have to stand for mutants the same way we do for everyone else. We need mutant representation. We need a mutant voice. He asked her to join the Avengers. Now, this is very, very interesting, because if you take Storm out of the X-Men, because that's what we used to seeing her at. Like, we used to see her interacting with her fellow mutants, interacting with Cyclops, interacting with Cajun, Jean, Wolverine, and so on and so forth. So for her to interact with, obviously T'Challa again for obvious reasons, with Iron Man, with Captain Marvel, with Thor, with Sam, that's going to be an interesting deal, because she has a certain way of doing things. So obviously, she's going to join the Avengers, because that makes it very interesting. So, it's been a minute since, I stuck with the Avengers as far as, a comic book run. But as long as Storm is there, I'm in there like swimwear. So we fast forward over to Gainesville, Florida, where this footage is being played, and Hyperion speaks. And he states, I was the Earth's greatest hero. I saved it time and time again. I lived in a world that was good. I lived in a world that made sense. A world where I loved and was loved. Basically, he states, and fast forward, make peace with your family, because I am flying towards Earth, and I'm going to basically blow up the Earth. Now, Hyperion is basically Marvel's Superman, This man is flying from Pluto at full speed towards the Earth. Now, I don't know what his logic is with that, because Hyperion is not really the sharpest tool in the shed, but that's where it is, and that's where it is. And we get to see what happened. And I know what you're gonna say. Oh man, Storm about to watch Hyperion. She's not gonna do that. I'm just gonna tell you that she's not gonna do that. Like, Hyperion been in like confrontations with the Avengers, and I'm pretty sure he can watch the Avengers too. If Hyperion punches you, you're done. You're out of there. You know, it's a wrap for you. But one key element that Storm has, because she is the key in winning the Krakoan War at the fall of X. Like, she was there with the resurrection of Magneto. She has the power of voice. Like, if she speaks, people will listen. That's how she is. So I think Storm will play a part in this situation. Yes, they're going to be a fight, obviously. I mean, for him to like barrel straight towards the Earth, yeah, hands will be thrown. But I think Storm will be the one to calm Hyperion nerves down. I think she's going to be the one that make things make sense for Hyperion. Hyperion has his tendencies. Like, he has his tendencies of doing bad things. Like, he's not Superman, but he's Superman-ish. Like, Superman has like this ultra code. Like, he's not going to kill or anything like that nature. And Hyperion has a code as well, but he will wash you. You know, it's yeah, he'll take you out. That's just what it is. Now, again, it will be interesting for Storm to be a part of the Avengers and not be a part of the X-Men. And I do like this direction because it's different. And what role will she play in the Avengers? Will she eventually be the leader of the Avengers, which would be super dope? But, you know, got to crawl before you walk. And I know I am a Storm stan. I know there's a lot of people that's out there that are Storm stans. But we will see what will happen along the way. But check it. That is our show for today. Now, this is the end of the video. Now, I'm going to let you know what is the next comic we're going to cover. And we are going to DC Comics, okay? This is called Gotham Central. Now, I'm covering the first 2 issues of Gotham Central, and this is covering the GCPD. This is covering Gotham City Police Department, okay? And how they solve cases. And one of the highlights is Renee Montoya. Now, if you're not familiar with that, go ahead, go with her. Check out Birds of Prey. That's one variation of her. Go check out Batman Cape Crusader, and also check out Batman the Animated Series. Renee Montoya is not to be messed with, but we're going to be covering Gotham Central. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And yes, I will be covering more Avengers featuring Storm. And like the previous video I did with Uncanny X-Men, yes, I will be covering more Uncanny X-Men because those 2 comics are really, really good. And I will be jumping back on Absolute Power along the way. So until next time, y'all, peace.